Hi you guys, it's me. I am back with a budgeting video for my October 8th paycheck. As you can see, it is already all written down. Normally I write it down on screen. I wasn't trying to keep you out of the oh so fun process of watching me handwrite math on a piece of paper in a totes adorable notebook. It was just that my video turned into this very rambling thing, and oh my god, nobody's gonna want to have to listen to all of that because I was just all over the place, and it was all money related, but it was like way too many things happening in one conversation on one budgeting video. And so I'm like, yeah, I gotta redo it. But of course I've already done the math, and I'm very conscious about the fact there's only so many pages in this binder, and I love, not binder, notebook, only so many pages in this notebook, and I love this notebook, and I'm not willing to write the exact same information on the next page just so it can seem like I'm doing it for the first time. I'm sorry, I'm a bad YouTuber. I'm not willing to make the sacrifice of that piece of paper from a notebook. So I'm just gonna walk you through it really quick. I guess we don't really need the calculator. Okay, my balance was $1,359.40. I took out half of rent for $392.50. Then my sinking funds that have recalculated, I'll show you that in a second. So that's $188.04. My savings challenge for $53, my student loan for $50, the housekeeping that I pay for my parents for $50, gas $250, food and other $120. I need to get strict with that. I keep sort of fudging that number, or if I buy something at a grocery store that isn't my normal like Safeway, I just sort of pretend like it somehow doesn't count. I don't know, man. I've been buying a lot of stuff at H Mart, and I absolutely love the food, but it's not my staple foods that I'm using, say, for like my work lunches. So it just sort of has fallen into this no man's land of I don't know where the money is coming from for those purchases, and yet I keep going back because I love Korean food. So I need to incorporate that better into my food budget and, you know, be better. And then my Wealth Simple card, I'm putting $20 on it because I want to test the card out tomorrow. I have a Wealth Simple account that I initially opened for investing, and then also for, that's where I put my savings challenge money. They have a high interest savings account that I funnel that money over to. I can still access the money whenever I want to. I can just transfer it back to my normal bank account and use it however I want. But there's like 2 extra steps to do that versus accessing the money in my normal bank account, and that just means it's a little bit safer because I'm a lazy human. But then Wealth Simple, they also opened up like their own version of a Visa debit card, so I can use that card. It says at any retailer, but I haven't tested it out yet. I tapped it once from the digital version that's on the wallet on my phone, and it worked absolutely fine. So it seems like it should work everywhere, but I'm going for bubble tea tomorrow, so I put 20 bucks on the card, and I'm gonna give it a test run tomorrow and see if it works at the bubble tea store, like the physical card, not the digital one, because what I'm thinking of doing is transferring my gas money and my food and other money over into the account that that card accesses, so that I can just better ensure that I don't overspend on either of those, because I'll have to only spend what's in that account. I used to pull these things out and spend them as cash, and then there was no way to overspend because the cash ran out, but it's COVID and people don't use cash anymore. I mean, for a while you couldn't use it. It wasn't even an option, and now some places you can, but people are really kind of iffy about it, and I don't really want to be dealing in change that's been through how many people's hands either. So I was just thinking that as a way to protect my buffer from me accidentally spending, because like I'm in my head thinking, oh, it falls under the other category, but then overspending in that category and eating into the buffer, if I just put these things onto a separate card, it might save the buffer. I'm hoping that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, so we're just gonna go with it. Yeah, so I don't know, that was my plan there. And I just want to show you really quickly my sinking fund recalculations, because they change all the time, as they should. So my Norton and my WordPress both were charged to my credit card, and both got paid off out of the sinking fund for those 2 items. I have I call it a tech sinking fund. So it has my Norton, my WordPress, and my Microsoft. All the money for all of them get funneled into there. Now I was wrong though for how much I saved. For Norton, I saved 125 and I was short $3.79. And for WordPress, I saved 120 and I was short $14.40. I had enough money in the account to be able to pay for both, so it was fine. It's just a little bit annoying when they raise the prices and you don't know they're going to raise the prices, so you save the wrong amount of money, but I can't control that. So I have adjusted for how much I need to save for both of those for next year up to the amount that I had to pay this year, and I assume I'll be short a little bit again next year. It just seems to be the cycle. But yeah, so there was still some money, $43.22 left in that tech account. I decided to put it towards Microsoft because of the three, that's the closest one that's going to be owing soon. Well, not soon, January. And then I did the math just for all three of them to figure out per paycheck what I need to be putting aside into that account to make sure that they're fully funded in time for when they're due. So Microsoft is $9.86, Norton is $4.77, and WordPress is $4.98. That's how much I'll be putting in per paycheck into the account so that they're all fully funded. Which, because of that, it changes the total of my sinking fund contribution per paycheck and brings it up to $188.04. Yeah, so that is there. I have my tenant insurance is going to be due at the end of the month, so that sinking fund is fully funded, but that does mean that at the end of October I will be recalculating again because I'm going to have to calculate to include that back in. And yeah, sinking funds, it's what they do, right? They change on you. So that is my budget for this week. I'm going away to Whistler this weekend, so my buffer, like, I do need to make a Visa payment, but I was thinking that instead of making as large of a payment as I was initially thinking, that finance wise it makes more sense to like still make a payment, yes, but instead of making such a large payment that I don't have enough money left to get me through the trip to Whistler, like the zip lining and the hotel and everything is already paid for, but I'm just thinking like food and like a gift for my landlady who's going to be cat sitting for me. I think it's better to just budget out how much I think I'm going to need for the 3 days, and then maybe move that to the Wealthsimple card and use that card when I'm away. I don't know, I got to think about this now, but I just think it's better to make a smaller Visa payment and not have to use the Visa for any of the things that I'm purchasing when I'm in Whistler, versus making a larger payment but then having to use the credit card to cover purchases and kind of Xing out the payment that I just made. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I do have other money stuff that I kind of wanted to catch you up on, but I might do some sort of like a special video for that because it's excessively needing to be explained. It does have to do with the Visa card though. So have a great day. Hopefully you are not also up at almost 2:30 in the morning doing math and figuring out finances, because it's painful. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will talk to you again in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll have some fun Whistler stories. Stay safe out there. Bye.